Stranded in a bizarre interdimensional space, you find yourself encountering flesh-eating mutant creatures whose very existence seems profoundly wrong. By the end of this cannibal survival horror experience, you'll never look the same way at the grotesquely deformed sons of the forest. No, not those guys. More like these guys. And even more frightening, him. Welcome to Deep Thoughts While Gaming. I'm Chris Chappell. Sure, you've been blue-pilled, red-pilled, and black-pilled. But all along, it was leading up to this. You're about to get pink marshmallow-pilled. For the darkest known regions of the human psyche are but a dim reflection of the true depths of yearning and despair on display in mankind's most gruesome, authentic creation. Yes, and of all mankind's icons, it is Kirby, the genderless Japanese marshmallow, invented by HAL Laboratory for the Game Boy in 1992, who best encapsulates Sigmund Freud's notion of the death drive. Not bad for a walking confection. Most recently, he appears in Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe for the Switch, a bigger budget remake of the series' 2011 Wii installment. But the demonic mental presence we know as Kirby was originally born from the mind of a 19-year-old video game designer, Sakurai Masahiro, shortly after he began working for HAL. Sakurai later admitted that the character ended up being a gelatinous sphere not because of a design decision, but instead just by default. He stated in an interview that, "I needed a dummy character to represent what the real character would be doing in the game, so I just put a Kirby-shaped blob in my presentation as a placeholder. But everyone liked it so much, we decided to keep it in the game without any major changes." Something similar was true of the iconic creature's name. The video game's original title was to be Twinkle Popo, and its main character would be called Popopo. This was later overridden by Nintendo executives who chose the name Kirby based on the name of a lawyer who had defended the company against a US copyright lawsuit by Universal Studios accusing Donkey Kong of ripping off King Kong. Out of this mixture of laziness and intellectual property law was born a creature who would become one of Nintendo's most popular franchises, but also one that would reveal to mankind the unseemly side of his nature. From the very beginning, Kirby demonstrated the compulsive urge to consume anything and anyone that he encountered. Unlike other video game protagonists, he would not simply jump on an enemy's head, but instead ingest them and use them as fuel for his own acquisition of power. Obsessively eating and stealing the abilities of every creature he comes across, Kirby perfectly embodies the psychological dynamics of the death drive, defined by Sigmund Freud in The Ego and the Id as the death instinct, seeming to express itself, though probably only in part, as an instinct of destruction directed against the external world. While his game's plots tend to center on defending his home of Dreamland against various alien invasions, in reality, Kirby's path of destruction is its own justification. He embodies Freud's insight that not all behavior can be traced to either rational, logical thought or the mere pursuit of happiness, the so-called pleasure principle, based on an avoidance of unpleasure or a production of pleasure. Sure, the libido of psychosexual desire could explain much of what people obsess over and pursue, but in addition, some conduct, usually involving repeated pattern-like actions, often with a violent or forbidden element, actually originates with the human instinctual need to regress from consciousness into the realm of shadow, or as Freud put it elsewhere, an urge in organic life to restore an earlier state of things, i.e. the inorganic state out of which life developed but to which it could never restore itself. While this element in Kirby's twisted adventures has always been apparent, It has become all the more clear in his recent expeditions, which involves ingesting and transforming himself into hard material objects, such as a car, boomerang, ladder, or traffic cone. The marshmallow's sick fixation with imbibing solid objects is ultimately tied to the psychological dynamic in which, as Freud pointed out, food usually symbolizes the mother. For Freud's later generation follower, Jacques Lacan, the stage of erotic focus upon the mouth was revealing of a so-called dialectic frustration, in which the desired object is at the same time there, but never there. From the conscious subject's early preoccupation with the mother's breast, which it knows it can never truly consume, there arises a subconscious attempt to replace the desired source of sustenance with an endless stream of substitutes. And yet, these substitutes are inevitably unsatisfactory, leading to only a pale shadow of reflected enjoyment, in which the activity of the erogenous zone of the mouth becomes momentarily geared towards various oral objects, from breast to bottle, favored foods as a child and adult, or, in anorexics, even the nothing that they choose to eat. Together, the obsessive-compulsive oral activity described by Lacan and the repetitive destruction instinct identified by Freud show us why Kirby is so relatable. We are him, endlessly grasping after momentary images of happiness in a world of phantasmic appearances. Man, this is all so depressing, I think I'll go eat a traffic cone. Keep watching Deep Thoughts While Gaming, and leave a like because otherwise, Mother will be very disappointed.